YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report, I just had a quick look and we're doing 14 to 28 degrees today, so I'm back in shorts and safety thongs, wandering around the workshop here, but yeah, look, it's lovely days. It's it's nice change. The cold mornings seem to have disappeared for a while, but I hear this coming week that may be a bit chilly, a bit cold coming up. But anyway, we'll enjoy it while we can. Well, what a week! You couldn't bloody read about a week like we've just had. And weeks like we've just had, they make you appreciate the good ones, that's for sure. You know, the dull and boring ones where nothing happens, and you think, oh, this nothing's happening, and that's just lovely. You can probably hear I've had the flu, had the wog, and my niece is Italian, a bit of Italian blood, and she doesn't get the wog, she gets an Aussie. So anyway, I got a wog, and Judy's had it too, so we've both been coughing and snorting and sneezing, and yeah, we've had the house open up the last couple of days, and look, we're coming good. Yeah, don't need to start digging a hole yet, we're still off and raising. But yeah, as for a hectic bloody week, Jesus, he's bloody. We have 5 staff in the shop there now, and yeah, the lady that works for us, Nick, does the office and admin and all that sort of thing. She got 4 kids, and if you ever have people want 4 kids, they need to spend a week with Nick. Boy, she has a busy old time, and so last week she could come to work Monday, but she had one of her little fellas in getting his grommets and that done, you know, getting surgery for that early in the week, so have a couple of days off to, you know, help him recover and all that sort of thing. But not only did that happen, but her little girl, she got appendicitis. So the poor buggers, one's up one end of the hospital getting operated on for grommets, and on the very same day, one's in the theatre at the other end somewhere, or somewhere else in the hospital, getting appendix done. But they took her up to emergency and had a look, and then the hospital said, oh no, I don't think there's anything wrong, you had a few Panadol, go home, and Nikki reckoned there wasn't something wasn't right, and so she dug her heels in and she said, no, I'm not going home, there's something more. You know, she doesn't usually whinge and sook and carry on, you know, like this, it's there's something wrong. So she persisted, and anyway, that night she was in getting them out. And so I don't know, I don't think the hospitals just want to piss you off out of it, to have a quiet time, have a cuppa and hop on the internet or something, I don't know. But yeah, lucky she stuck to her guns, and it all turned out well. So she had the rest of the week off, with a couple of kids convalescing, and then one of our other fellas, he's had a dicky knee, and we put him on with a disability with his dicky knee, and the government helps us out a little bit with his wages for the first 12 months while we train him up. So that's a good thing, we're happy with that. And so he had to have a few hours off to get his knee looked at, but then his son had bought him a ticket to a concert in Brisbane. And so he had Wednesday to get down to Brisbane, which is 4 hours away, to go to the concert Wednesday night, then come home Thursday. So yeah, with all the goings on with staff and that, we've had a busy time, and Judy and I are full of the flu, and felt like shit. But anyway, when you own the show, you don't get the opportunity to sit back and have a sook and all that. You just got to get stuck into it and make it work. So and eBay got onto us again, like we got their bastards. We just got. Oh, we did our week in bloody eBay jail in the naughty corner, and that's fine. And they brought a thing out that we had to have any live JavaScripts or anything like that off eBay. So it loads on mobile phones better, and some of that stuff, you know, flash players and things like that, they can have viruses attached to them. So it's a pretty good thing, but when you've got 850 odd items just sitting there at the moment. We actually had to go through every item and tidy up every item, and and they've got a thing where you put your description there. There's a little place up the top, and you can click on that, and that actually checks it for you. That they got meta tags and things, and what a meta tag is, I wouldn't have a bloody clue. But anyway, apparently we got some, and so anyway, we went through the whole 847 or 49 or whatever it is parts, and we revisited the whole lot, and we brought them up to date with pricing, and we any little errors we knew in them we fixed up, and look, it took quite a few months to get through them and get them all finished. And in our description we've got Google Queensland Tractor Spares, because we've got a heap more parts, on our other websites and things like that, and then it's got, if you need product support, call something's fallen down. It says if you need product support, call 1300 85 0097. And we've had that format for about 4 years, and no problem at all. And anyway, eBay got onto us last week, and they started pulling a listing off. And first up, they edited one. They edited one day, and they said, "We've noticed that you've got the phone number in your listings. That's not allowed, because you might try and sell out of eBay," which we might. Well, we did. And anyway, so they said, "We've edited it," so they half wrecked it. Anyway, I thought, oh, okay, so I have to have a look at this. And well, the next day they'd wiped a couple. They said, "These don't comply, they're gone, out of it. You can put them back, but they need to be edited." So, and they gave me a big letter then on having in your description Google Queensland Tractor Spares, and we had Google Queensland Tractor Spares. We have heaps of parts. Anything you find on our website, we're happy to put onto eBay for you. Because some people prefer eBay. And so we said, we're happy to put it onto eBay, and just contact us, and we back up the parts we sell. Like, we're happy to offer advice on any parts we sell on the 1300 number. So they've decided that after 4 years that's no good anymore. So they pulled a few bits off on us, and told us we can put them back, but we're not allowed to have Google Queensland Tractor Spares on it, and we're not allowed to have the 1300 number for product support. So I popped a letter back into them, and an email back into them, and said, well, if you look at all our other competitors out there, we all offer a phone number for product support. And I said, well, if you want us to change them, well, we'll change them. No big deal, but it's going to take, I'm going to have to employ someone to do it, and it's going to take a month or so to get through them all and recheck them, and we'll have to do a shell up and then just slide it in and copy paste and all that stuff. So it costs a lot of money to get someone to do it, and so here we go again. So we've got to visit every listing again and do it. So I went and had a look at some of my competition, and they've still got it there. One of them is Harry from Harvey Bay, Harry the Ferguson specialist. Harry, not his real name, but he just works out of a shipping container. And he used to have a business card in his photos. And with the photos, you'd have a picture of an oil filter, say, and he'd have his business card in the filter next door. So, and anyway, there's I went to check on Harry's listings, because I was thinking, well, how come they're picking on us? And I went and had a look at Harry's listings, and well, his have all changed. Like, he's got all that out of his description too. But and Simon from Wagga, Simon does a really good job. He hasn't got any. He'd never had it by the looks. But there's two other businesses, Heads and Eastman. Well, they've got it everywhere, haven't they? And like, Heads have got phone numbers. Ring us for this and ring us for that and all that, and they're good. And Eastman's are the same. So I don't know. So I sent them back a letter, and I said, this is we don't mind. After 4 years, you've decided to tell us it's no good, and we'll change it. I can see your point. We'll change it, but give us 30 days or so to do it. But how about we do it across the whole industry, like just to pick on one or two people? And it turns out one of these other people has put in a complaint. So here they are with their names and all that there, and one of them had their email and their phone number on every listing, and and they're getting by no worries. So it turns out to be flagged, someone has to dob you in. So one of our oppositions dobbed us in, and so we've got to do that now. So I've kicked up and I've said, well, let's do it all across the board. And yeah, if we're going to play on a level playing field, we'll up them. So anyway, so that happened for the week, and then we're building when we bought our new workshop, or the new shop 2 years ago, we've had it just over 2 years now, we got up out of the flood, and you ever want to see some flood pictures, have a look at my Facebook page, Lance Maskell, and it's just a public thing, and have a look in the album, and there's some photos of the flood when the workshop got flooded, and holy, look, you just don't want that, it was terrible. And so anyway, we moved on, and we bought a new place, and earlier this year, we sold that place. It got flooded. An investor bought it, and he's got it leased out. And so that gives us money to put the second story on where we are now. So we're in a tilt slab building, and it's very tall. And we have a little office showroom thing in there, but we have room to put a mezzanine area and move all the admin out of downstairs, upstairs, and give us a better showroom and all that. So the time's come to do that, and with selling the other one, that's sort of give us the money to be able to afford to put the second story in. And so we've hired a draftsman, and the draftsman did us a set of plans up, and you know, $3,500 later we got this set of plans, and we thought, oh, that looks nice, yeah, good, eh? And so off it goes down south to the engineering department, and the engineering department, they've come back with, you know, a few pages of this beam has to be this big, and that has to be that big, and the pole has to be that thickness of steel, you know, 89 by 89 by 5 and all that. So we're all good. So we've sent it out to the builders for quotes. You know, it's good business practice. You know, get a couple of quotes. So we sent it out to a few builders, and one bloke rang back and he said, look, I just can't fit you in. He said, I'm busy, and another bloke rang up and said, have you got a sprinkler system? Have you got this? Have you got that? And we're thinking, alright, just come and have a look. Come and say hello and have a look. So there's two that have bid in for a look, and on Thursday, one of them trots in with the plans and said, you're not allowed to build this. I said, what do you mean I'm not allowed to build this? And he said, oh, I've just had it to the certifier. And he said, you're just not allowed to build it. You've got to put your office on the other side, and you've got to do this and that and that. And I thought, oh, what's going on here? No one else has picked anything up like this. And so anyway, I had a look, and I rang the certifier, and he said, from any part of that top story, you can be a maximum of 20 metres from the door, you know, in case there's a fire and emergency. So you've got to come along and down the steps and out. And you're only allowed to be 20 metres maximum away from the door. And the draftsman had put a nice wide staircase in because he got a bit of advice that we might have to have a bit of disability access, but it turns out we don't. We can sign a thing saying that a person with a disability that needed a wheelchair wouldn't be capable of doing our job. So instead of 1.5 metres, which is 5 foot steps, we can come back to 1 metre, which is about a yard. And so he says, oh, you're about 1 metre over. You know, you're about 21 metres from getting out the door. And I said, well, why don't we shift the staircase a bit? You know, we had room to move it along. And oh, I can't advise you what to do. He says, you've got to take your plans back and get them redrawn. He said, I won't sign off on any of that stuff. It's illegal. And I said, well, there's got to be a way of doing it, you know, an easy way of working it out. So, and he says, well, if you put the stairs here and put the offices over there, it'll work. And I said, no, it won't, you dickhead. It's bloody... Why would you have a staircase in the middle of your showroom? Well, you come in the door, there's a staircase, and then you've got to go around the staircase to have a look at your part. I said, bloody dickwit. Anyway, I said, no, that's bullshit. So I got back onto my draftsman and had a yarn to him, and he said, no, we're right. He said, I'm sure. He said, I'll do a couple of tests and see. And he said, I've got a certifier that, he said, I run your plans past a certifier, and he's happy with them. He says, but look, here's his phone number, have a chat. So I rang this other bloke up, this other certifier, and the first bloke that wouldn't let us do anything, and we had to do this and something else and all that. And he said, oh, boys, don't go near him. He said, he'll make you actually put a $100,000 lift in. things like that, or he won't sign off on it. So the plans went back to the draftsman, and I was thinking, all this money, just spend $5 grand getting this done, and we've got to start again. And so we took the plans back to the draftsman, and he said, hang on, I'll do a couple of runs. And he said, but they haven't allowed for the roller door, and where you go in there's a door, then there's a big roller door for receipt and dispatch. While the business is open, that door is open, so the couriers can drop their parts off and then they can come and get signed for and all that. He said they haven't allowed for that, so we done some measurements, and we're a metre and a half well within where we needed to be. And but anyway, what we're thinking is we're going to turn the stairwell around, which is it'll just give us a better flow. And you've got to look at these places, and you don't want your staff running around unnecessarily, over here for this and over there for that, and how this first accreditor bloke wanted it. You'd buy a part at the counter here, then our parts personnel, if it was upstairs, they'd have to come from here, go round past the customer, excuse me, round up the stairs, get the part, come back, and then the customer would say, oh, and I want a filter for me such and such too, so off you go again. Dumb as dog shit. So anyway, we were going to turn it around to get the flow. So Friday afternoon I was sitting back thinking, oh, beautiful. So anyway, we finally got it sorted. The new certifier, anyone that wants to build our place isn't allowed to use that first certifier, because he's just something wrong with him. And the second one, he's provided a set of notes on how he worked his measurements out for any builders, and said, this is within spec, and the law states this and that's there, and all the questions this one bloke brought up, that this is no good and that's no good. And when I did ask him for advice, he told me some stupid things, and he said, well, I can't design it and certify it. He says, that's a conflict of interest. You're going to have to go and start again. But anyway, the draftsman that was working with this other certifier, they've showed me the stuff, and they're all within the law, and we're laughing. So I had a sleepless night Thursday night thinking, what am I going to do with this bloody joint? But anyway, it all comes good in the end. And then another thing for the week, we have family friends that we used to live next door to out west, and one of my best mates, his mother-in-law, his missus's mum, passed on, so tomorrow we're off into the car and going out west, so heading out for 3 hours, or 2.5, 3 hours drive out west to pay respects, and then we'll come back again. So there's a hole in this week already. So you just have those weeks, don't you? So we're going to take the new Triton out for the run out to the funeral, and so I changed the oil on it yesterday. So this weekend, it's Monday morning now, but all weekend I've been playing with cars. No machining, no shop time or anything like that. But it's only done 1,100 kilometres, the new one, but I was like at 1,000 k's to get the oil out and change it, and before 5,000 k's it'll have probably 2 oil changes just to get any running in rubbish out. And we use synthetic oil, and we get it at the right price. So. But one thing I did do to it was on the back of the new Tritons, this is the diff breather. Can you focus on that? Yeah. And it's got a little, it does have a steel cap in there, but that's a diff breather, a bit of plastic crap. And so anyway, I realised that when I bought the thing, and I bought a kit. So what we've done is I bought an extension kit. So I've put poly lines there now, and we've got these little stone filters. And I've only done the back diff so far. I still have the front one to do. So we've bought these little stone filters to sit up on the firewall. So they're nice and high and dry. And my other old Triton, it had a hose that went up into the chassis for the diff breather. But this new one, they've got this new plastic thing, and the plastic thing just pushes in, and it's glued in with bloody silicone sort of stuff. And so anyway, I bought one for the MN Triton, which is the early model, and they have a different, look, it's sort of similar, but they gave me a brass fitting like this, so we actually machined it down a little bit yesterday, and we fitted that in into the diff. Then we've put a poly line all the way up to the front, up into the chassis, so that should be good to go, and it'll actually do it the world of good, because I've had it 5 months now and I've done 1,100 kilometres, So what's that, 600 miles or something like that. So and all it's done is go to work a couple of times, and downtown we've gone out for dinner or something like that. So it's got one of these diesel particulate filters on, so it'll do it good to have a nice long run rather than putting around town. So then because we're going away next weekend, we're going down to our tractor show at Denilican, which is 1,700 clicks away each way, and so I've serviced up to Colorado and done a few other things. But I noticed on the NQ Triton, on the new Triton, anyone that's done a bit of mechanical work on drive shafts and that, you know that you've got to phase them, and phasing means that you have the two outer yokes directly in line facing away from each other, and they've got to be directly in line, and that gives you the full travel. Well, on the Triton, I was under there greasing it. It's got greasable unis, woohoo! And yeah, the front shaft isn't phased. Yeah, it's off on an angle a bit. Look, there's not a vibration in the thing. It runs beautifully. But anyway, I'm going to go back to Mitsubishi and ask them, and yeah, just bring it to their attention. And there may be a reason for it that I'm not aware of, but it looks like I could pull it out and turn it around a spline and put it back in. But it's factory, like it's brand new, and it seems to run well. There's no problems with it, no vibrations, no nothing. But I noticed the main drive shaft, where it comes from the gearbox to a centre bearing, then from a centre bearing down to the diff. Well, where it comes through that centre bearing is out of phase. So there's something to find out about anyway. People might know. And yeah, I just thought everything I've had anything to do with, you've had to phase them. So we'll see. So this morning I'm getting the caravan out and going through all the junk and making sure we're not carting anything we don't have to. And I usually have awnings on the top of the Colorado for when we go camping. I'm going to take them off. We don't need them, and a lot less wind drag and things like that. So it's mainly a car weekend, servicing and all that sort of thing. But eBay did come, and I bought a new gimbal for my camera, the one that you're looking at me with now, and I have a little one. I have a couple of little ones that I bought, but look, they don't work too bad. It's just that up on top of the lathe there, I've built a thing for the 3/8 ball to fit this fella, and it seems to settle a lot better, and you don't get the vibration. So what I've been doing when I've been doing lathe work and things like that, I've had to take the camera off the tripod, put it over on the lathe, screw it on. Then if we go over the bench, I've got to undo slide the camera off it. But then I've got to undo the whole thing and get him over here and on the tripod set up. Then I've got to go back again, and so it's been an arduous task, just back and forth whenever we've been doing any machining. So this one I'm going to put on the tripod, and the older one I'm going to leave on the lathe, and so I can just slide the camera straight out of the foot wedge, whatever you call it, and yeah, slide it over. So it'll be a lot less buggering around, so that'll be a good thing. And with all our camping and that, we use Henderson plugs, and I showed a video a little while back about soldering them on, and I've been reading up recently, and they've done tests, and NASA's done tests of all people on crimped terminals are better than soldered terminals, and you'd wonder about that, but what they're saying is when they're soldered, sometimes the flux can go a bit acidic if it's not washed away properly. Sometimes a bit of solder goes up the wire and makes it stiff, and when the wire is stiff, that's a point that it can break. And they've done tests where crimping them is the go. So anyway, so look, 35 bucks on eBay. I used to have battery terminal crimpers and all, and when I was out doing field service, if I'd make up a follow a set of battery leads, we'd just cut the lead and yeah, crimp the ends on and heat shrink it, and yeah, beautiful. You can have any size lead, nice and neat whenever you chose to. But I sold all that when I sold the business. So yeah, for $35 we bought a nice set of crimpers just for crimping the little Anderson plugs. Really, that was the idea behind it, because I know on some of mine the solder had tracked. It had tracked up the wire a little bit. You could feel what they were saying about with it stiff. So I thought, well, yeah, we'll do that and see how we go. And then when I was making the slasher washers a couple of weeks ago, I've been using a little boring bar coming in, and it hasn't been too bad, but I'm getting to a stage where I've got 4 or 5 different little boring bars, and every bloody thing's got a different end on it. And so you've got to have a little diamond end for this and a square end for that. And I started looking around, I thought surely there's one where I can have the same tip on some of my tools, you know, try and standardise it a little bit. So I actually found one. So yeah, that's a standard tip. Is that TCMT or something like that? Or look, if I say it's that, it'll be wrong. So I can't think what it is. But anyway, it's a 20mm boring bar, so it's nice and rigid. And there's actually one that, see, this is a right-hand one, and I actually like the left-hand ones because I can reverse the lathe and feed the boring bar in. You can actually see where it's cutting. You know, you can actually see the tip and see everything that's happening when you run it backwards. And I often like the bore like that. I reckon it's a good thing. But now this will get us started, and another little pot of tips to go with it. So I'll set that up for doing these washers because it seems to be a fairly common thing now, and I'll set that up in a holder, and that'll be a lot more rigid for us, and that'll do the job. So there you go. I hope you had a better week than I did, and pardon me. And yeah, we'll see what happens next weekend. Next Monday we're driving out of here for a fortnight, and we're going down south to this Ford Centenary. So I'll try and get a bit of footage there, and if I see anything of interest on the way, but I'll probably get time to do a stew next week. We'll just see, and we'll go from there. But look, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Glad you made it so far. Nothing exciting this week. Just servicing cars and checking wheel bearings and all that sort of thing. And now I'll just go and take the awnings off the canopy off the Colorado, and I'll wheel the caravan forward, and I'll jack it up and just check all the wheel bearings and all that sort of thing. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you next week, and hopefully we'll have a better week. See you later, eh?